Picture this, it's November 1922. After years of relentless searching in the Egyptian desert, archaeologist Howard Carter makes a tiny hole in the door of an ancient tomb. His financial backer, Lord Carnarvon, anxiously asks from behind him, "Can you see anything?" Carter's famous reply still echoes through history. Yes, wonderful things. But those wonderful things supposedly came with a warning. A little over 4 months after entering the tomb, Lord Carnarvon was dead. Soon after, others connected to the discovery seemed to follow. The world was gripped, convinced a 3,000-year-old curse had been unleashed. The legend of the Mummy's Curse, a tale of supernatural revenge from beyond the grave, was born. But was it really a curse? Or was it a perfect storm of media hype, tragic coincidence, and a scientific explanation that no one at the time could have predicted? In this video, we're going to separate legend from reality. We'll investigate the mysterious deaths, expose the media frenzy that built the myth, and uncover the truth behind the curse of the pharaohs. Number 1. The legend of the curse. So, how did this whole legend even start? To understand it, you have to go back to that moment of discovery. For centuries, tomb robbers had plundered nearly every royal burial site in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. But the tomb of the young pharaoh, Tutankhamun, remained hidden for over 3 millennia, its treasures and secrets sealed away. When Carter and Carnarvon finally broke that seal, it was the archaeological find of the century. The antechamber was filled with golden chariots, ornate furniture, and stunning statues. It was a time capsule from a lost world. But the wonder soon turned to fear. The first and most famous victim was the man who paid for it all, George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon. In April 1923, just over 4 months after the tomb was opened, he died in Cairo. The story that spread like wildfire was that he'd been bitten by a mosquito, and the bite became infected after he accidentally sliced it open while shaving. To add to the spooky narrative, legend says that at the very moment of his death, a massive power outage plunged Cairo into darkness. Back in England, the story goes, Carnarvon's dog Susie howled and then dropped dead. It was the perfect start for a ghost story, and the world's press was more than happy to run with it. Newspapers were fueled by reports of an ominous inscription supposedly found inside the tomb, which read, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." This inscription became the supposed smoking gun proof that an ancient power was at work. Number 2. Building the myth, with Lord Carnarvon's death lighting the fuse. The media began to construct the legend of the curse, one death at a time. Every illness, accident, or misfortune that befell anyone even remotely connected to the dig was attributed to the pharaoh's revenge. Shortly after Carnarvon, George J. Gould, a wealthy American financier who had visited the tomb, died from a sudden fever. Prince Ali Kamel Fahmy Bey of Egypt, another visitor, was shot and killed by his wife in 1923. Aubrey Herbert, Lord Carnarvon's half-brother, died from sepsis following dental surgery just 5 months after his brother's death. Sir Archibald Douglas Reed, a radiologist who x-rayed Tutankhamun's mummy, died from a mysterious illness in 1924. Arthur Mace, a key member of Carter's excavation team, died in 1928 from pneumonia. The list grew longer, and the stories became more elaborate. Richard Bethel, Howard Carter's personal secretary, was found smothered in his bed in 1929. Upon hearing the news, his father reportedly died by suicide, and the legend claims he left a note that read, "I have succumbed to a curse which forces me to disappear." Even Carter's pet canary became part of the lore. The story goes that early in the excavation, the bird was eaten by a cobra, the very symbol of a pharaoh's power. This string of tragedies was too compelling for the public to ignore. Even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of the master rationalist Sherlock Holmes but also a fervent spiritualist, publicly suggested that Carnarvon's death was caused by elementals, evil spirits created by ancient priests to guard the tomb. The public was captivated. The curse of the pharaohs was no longer a fringe theory. It had become a global phenomenon. Number 3. The investigation and the reality. Okay, so that's the legend. It's a great story, but what do the facts say? When you peel back the layers of myth and media hype, the terrifying curse unravels into a series of explainable events and tragic coincidences. First, let's tackle the foundation of the entire legend, that ominous inscription, "Death shall come on swift wings." The truth is, no such curse was ever found in Tutankhamun's tomb. While some private tombs from Egypt's Old Kingdom did have protective warnings, they were rare and more like no trespassing signs than supernatural hexes. The famous curse was largely a media invention, created to sell newspapers. So what about the deaths? Let's start with Lord Carnarvon. He didn't die from a mystical force, but from blood poisoning that led to pneumonia. In the 1920s, before antibiotics like penicillin, an infected mosquito bite could easily become fatal. Lord Carnarvon was also not in good health, suffering from chronic lung issues after a serious car accident years earlier. As for the lights in Cairo going out, the city's electrical grid was notoriously unreliable at the time. When you look at the other victims, the pattern falls apart. A 2002 study in the British Medical Journal examined the survival rates of 40 Westerners identified as being present in Egypt when the tomb was opened. It found that the 25 people who were actually exposed to the curse lived, on average, to the age of 70. There was no statistically significant difference in their lifespan compared to those who were weren't exposed. The so-called curse had no effect on their mortality. Many of the people linked to the curse died from common illnesses or had only a passing connection to the excavation. George J. Gould died of pneumonia months after his visit. Aubrey Herbert's death was a tragic but understandable complication from surgery. But the most powerful evidence against the curse is the one person who should have been its main target: Howard Carter, the man who led the excavation, who was the first to breathe the air of the tomb, and who spent a decade cataloging its contents, lived for another 17 years. He died in 1939 from Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 64, a death from natural causes completely unrelated to any ancient magic. If the pharaoh truly wanted revenge, surely he would have started with the man who disturbed his eternal slumber. So if not a curse, was there anything in the tomb that could have been dangerous? Modern science offers an intriguing possibility. For thousands of years, the tomb was a sealed environment, a perfect incubator for dormant molds and bacteria. Scientists have identified fungi like aspergillus that can be present in ancient tombs. If inhaled, these airborne spores can cause severe respiratory infections, especially in someone with a weakened immune system like Lord Carnarvon. While this tomb toxin theory isn't definitive proof, it does provide a plausible scientific reason for how an ancient resting place could pose a genuine biological hazard. So, was there really a curse of the pharaohs? The evidence points to a resounding no. There was no supernatural force, no vengeful spirit, and no magic inscription promising death. The legend was a perfect storm, born from the tragic coincidental death of a prominent figure and fanned into a global frenzy by a sensationalist press hungry for a dramatic story. It was a myth built on our collective fascination with the unknown and the romantic idea that some secrets are best left buried. The real story of Tutankhamun's tomb isn't about a curse, but about a discovery that gave the world an unprecedented window into ancient life. The true treasure wasn't a tale of horror, but the priceless knowledge of culture, art, and history preserved for over 3,000 years. The curse might be a more exciting story, but the story of human history and discovery is far more valuable. The Curse of the Pharaohs shows us how easily myths can be created and how quickly they can overshadow historical fact. It proves that sometimes, the most compelling stories are the ones we tell ourselves. If you enjoyed separating fact from fiction, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let us know in the comments what mystery we should investigate next. Thanks for watching.